What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for April 6, 2024. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Saturday edition of the podcast. Hopefully, you're hearing this loud and clear. I was having some sound issues this morning. I'm not sure what's going on. I bumped the microphone and just slightly knocked it out, and everything was all screwed up. So hopefully, you're hearing this loud and clear. If you're watching, if you see the light, it's coming in, and it's a sunny day, and it's just the way my office and studio is positioned. So we will get through this today. Hopefully you all are safe and not as freaked out about the earthquake as everyone was yesterday. I will say they're building houses next door here, and I was thought it was their heavy equipment. So I walked out, and wine glasses were shaking, and they were up on the roof building it, and they looked like a little nervous up there on the roof, but it was about 20 seconds, 30 seconds. It was pretty freaky, but amazingly enough, it was not my first earthquake. The one back in 2011, I remember sitting in summer or August professional development training from the new school year, and we all started shaking there. But again, it was near where they were doing construction, so we thought it was a construction site until everybody took their phones out and was like, no, that was an earthquake. So hopefully everyone is safe. With all these sound issues as well as the lighting here, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mott. Hit me up on my social media, Twitter and TikTok at Jimbo_Mott, Instagram at Philly Jimbo. I'm on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. All of this will help the algorithm out and allow me to get a producer in here, or Bubba Booey, to make sure that everything flows accordingly. But as always, let's start with a recap of yesterday's question of the day. I asked you, how invested on the Flyers playoff run are you? And 63% of you said you were all in. That was before the game actually started. More on that. Everybody else was kind of all over the board. Fortunately, I think people here are invested. They're cautiously optimistic. A lot of folks out of that 63%, the other 37%, a lot of folks saying, well, we'll watch, but it's behind the Phillies and Sixers. But tough one for the Flyers yesterday, 4-2. They lost to Buffalo. It is their sixth straight. They are officially in Tom Petty mode, free-falling. They are back in action tonight against Columbus, a team they should be able to win, but we've seen how that's gone so far. Owen Tippett hit his 28th goal yesterday. It's a career high for him. Luckily for the Flyers, and this has happened a couple times during this 6-game skid, the Red Wings and Capitals both lost. The Islanders did win, so the Flyers are officially tied with the Islanders, but I guess due to tiebreakers, they have swapped. So now the Flyers are hanging on to that final wild card spot, even though they're tied with the Islanders right now, and there's still some 5-6 games left. But they are 1 up on Washington and Detroit for the final wild card, and only 2 up on the Penguins, so it is going to be an interesting finish to the season, but they need to. I mean, if they're going to keep dropping games, it does not matter. Back at it, this, like I said, tonight, a game they should win. At this point, they need points. It doesn't matter how you get them. At this point, I don't care if it's a shootout win, overtime loss, whatever. Preferably, you get a win, so you get the 2 points. But let's just start stacking up as many points as possible here near the end. But again, Flyers lose 4-2 last night up in Buffalo, down in Columbus in a game like I said, they should be able to win. But we saw with the Eagles, when you are just downward spiraling like they are right now, anything is difficult. So we shall see. It is Wrestlemania Day. I am pumped to go. I know my son is bouncing off the walls too. For me, this is kind of like I put it up there, honestly, with like a bucket list thing, like going to the Super Bowl. I've been to a World Series game. I would love to go to an NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals. Been to playoff games for both. But going to WrestleMania is high up there on the list. and being able to do it at the link. And the card is tonight. I personally think, there's more championships, I guess, tomorrow, but the matches tonight, I'm really looking forward to the main event, obviously, but get to see the Intercontinental Championship. I've been feeling Sami Zayn's going to win, so that's going to be a cool moment. There's the Tag Team Championship ladder match we get to see, which being able to see a ladder match is awesome. So definitely looking forward to it, and especially for me. And I know it's scripted, I know all that, but I mean, the athleticism of some of these wrestlers is insane. Like, I go back to the old school days, but you got guys like big as Bam Bam Bigelow doing cartwheels and stuff like that. But grew up with it. Excited to be able to share that with my son, going down with my brother, who, when we were growing up, that's what we did. We watched wrestling, and even though I forget the dude's name, but it will always come on and say, these are trained professionals, don't try this at home. Sure enough, the first thing we did was try it at home. But all in good fun. Looking forward to it. Bonus question of the day that's WrestleMania related is, who's your all-time favorite wrestler? The WrestleMania moments were pretty cool. That came in yesterday. I had some people talk about the Macho Man Ricky Steamboat match at WrestleMania 3. Some people talked about the Hogan Ultimate Warrior. I told you mine was when Hogan picked up Andre. More recently, the Seth Rollins cash-in was pretty cool on Brock. When I guess it was Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns and made it a three-way match. But continue if you want to share your favorite WrestleMania moment. But who's your all-time favorite wrestler? For me, and a lot of people in my generation, it is Hulkamania. Hulk Hogan is my all-time favorite wrestler, and to the point where in college I used to rip off T-shirts and pretend that I was Hulk Hogan, and even outside of college sometimes. But we'll leave that one go. But let me know. Bonus question, 267-495-8531. Get you in on the voice and text line. Let me know who your all-time favorite wrestler is. Give me those WrestleMania moments as we get ready for WrestleMania Night 1 down at Lincoln Financial Field tonight. Be sure, to check out the information regarding the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame. The induction class was announced this week. All the information is in the description as far as buying tickets. We're currently working on getting the bios and everything up for the inductees. But as I've been mentioning since we've been doing the process and going through the voting, this class is stacked. And I mean, yes, it's top heavy again with like Utley, Howard, and Jameer Nelson. But then you throw in the coaches, Loreline Jones, like top to bottom. This one is just stacked. So go follow the link in my in the description, and it'll take you to all the information you need about the inductees as well as ticket information. The ceremony is November 7th down at Live Casino in South Philly. All right, Sixers are in Memphis tonight. Another game, and again, same situation as the Flyers, a game they need to win and a game they should win. The Heat did win last night, so they are currently one game up on the Sixers, and the Pacers are 1.5. So the Sixers right now are locked into that 8 seed, which means they go back down to Miami for the play-in. But they still have 5 games left and 2 very winnable games this weekend. Tonight against the Grizzlies, and then tomorrow. Although the Spurs have been playing better, Wembanyama, I'm anxious to see. Hopefully, I know it's a back-to-back, but as far as conditioning goes, I say you play Joe in both of them because you're going to need him to get that conditioning level up. And I mean, it's both of these games are important, and it'd be cool to see him go against Wembanyama just to kind of get a sense on where they stack up. Also, the Heat and the Pacers both play each other tomorrow, so that makes these 2 games even that much more pivotal for the Sixers. So I say play Joe both games. And just like you used to early in the season, if you get up, excuse me, in this game, you get up and you don't need to play him in the fourth quarter, that's fine. Save him for tomorrow against San Antonio. But I feel like at this point, it's way too late in the season for load management. And if he's back, that means that knee's healthy. So that should not be an issue. You got to get that conditioning up, man. But like I said, looking forward to that along with all of it. It's a great sports weekend here in Philadelphia. That's all I got to say. Be sure to check out my boys over at the Clashing Conferences podcast. wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. They're doing a great job with the NBA version over there. And really the thing that strikes me even more so with the NBA is just the banter that goes back and forth. It's just basically like you're talking with your boys at the bar. So go check them out wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. The big news for the Phillies yesterday were they officially released the City Connect jersey. They were, excuse me, slightly tweaked, I think, from what the leaks were, cleaned up a little bit. Still not a fan of the jerseys. I think it's something to do with the font. It looks just like like kind of like a bootleg shirt you'd get in the parking lot after the game, or like I don't know, like a beer league softball shirt or something you'd wear. Like, I just not a fan of them. The numbers and the logo, like it's the font. Like the font is what I think gets me. I'm okay with the color. It is what it is, especially for City Connect. Like the old Frankfurt Yellow Jacket uniforms the Eagles wore, like they grew on me. Like I can deal with that. I think there's something about the font. Like it's kind of like a bootleg, like Metallica cover band type font, like where you can't use the real Metallica font because they have like a copyright or something on it. It's just something about that font I just don't like. Like I said, I can deal with it, but I'm just like, eh. The hats, though, I'm a big fan of those hats. The Liberty Bell, the blue hats with the yellow Liberty Bell and the stars on each side. I will say, I think I might get one of the hats. I can't, like I said, I can't with the uniforms. They look like I said, it's almost like they were trying, like if they were going to use this color scheme, they should have like talked to the union and did something similar to like the way the union uses their font. Like, I don't know. Just let me know what you think. I like the hats, but now that we officially seen them, that is today's question of the day. What are your thoughts on the City Connect jerseys? Yay, nay, hat, no go? I mean, a ton of people bought them. I mean, the line was out there, and you should have seen the people walking out with them. So whether or not they look good, the point was taken and point was made, and people were buying them. So let me know. Get through on the Back to the Future voice and text line 267-495-8531. Let me know your thoughts on the Philly City Connect jerseys. I'm not a fan, but I like the hats. And I will say they look better in the pictures with the players wearing them than they did through the leaks. But again, I'm not a fan, but I do like the hats. So let me know what you think. 267-495-8531. Get you in on the Back to the Future voice and text line. That is today's question of the day. Meanwhile, on the field, 4-0, they shut out the Washington Nationals. Nola looked a hell of a lot better than he did in his first start, going 5 2/3. Did not give up a run, 4 Ks. That's more in line with what we want. They did have some timely hitting, and for the most part, excuse me, with the exception of Castellanos and Turner, everybody seems to be hitting in the starting lineup. But again, if you can kind of balance that out and have not everyone having slumps at the same time, you'll be okay. That leads me to Johan Rojas. And I said 10 games. We're only, 7 games into the season, so I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. But I will say he needs to, like, not make mistakes anywhere else. So, like, with the base running mistake the other day, like, that's not good, but he's hitting 070 something, I think, or 060 something. He could get hot and go on a run, but man, I said give him 10, 15 games. We're only 7 games in, so we have some time, but it's worth mentioning. I know on my text chain with a couple of my boys, like, it's already been, the rumblings are there about Johan Rojas. So, but again, if everyone else is doing what they need to do, it doesn't necessarily matter what he does down there. I'd like to see him maybe bunt more, but he cannot make mistakes like he did the other day on the base paths. But hopefully this might be a good chance to get right with the next couple weeks here. We'll see. Today, my boy Rangers on the mound. Looking forward to the Rangers-Suarez game. Looking through, but yeah, Johan Rojas has been very, very disappointing. And I don't know what's more disappointing, Johan or the City Connect jerseys, but you know whose shirts and gear is never going to disappoint you? That's Philly Goat. Go to phillygoat.com. Check out their selection of, you don't like the City Connect, they have a shirt for you. They can get probably close to the same color scheme. Go check them out. The shoes, I'm telling you, grab the shoes. I'm debating on wearing the Fanatics tonight or not. Probably not, though, because going to WrestleMania, and I don't want to get them dirty. But go check out those canvas loafers. Phenomenal. And again, just everything on their site is great. But go check them out. phillygoat.com. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off of your order. That's phillygoat.com. Promo code Jim Montgomery at checkout for 10% off of your order. Speaking of the Union are in Nashville, or they play Nashville SC tonight. I'm pretty sure that game's in Nashville. So good luck to them tonight. Not a lot of movement on the Eagles front, but sign Smitty. I still don't know why he's not there yet. Sign Smitty, Howie. Make it happen. All right, today we're going to go back to 2006. And on this day in 2006, the Phillies lost to the Cardinals 4-2 to start their season 0-3. Bobby Abreu, Chase Utley, and Mike Lieberthal all had doubles. And then there were only 2 other hits in the entire game. Just not a good start for the Phillies. Corey Lytle gave up 4 runs in 5 innings. He would ultimately be traded this season. The big story, though, Jimmy Rollins went 0 for 4, ending his 38-game hitting streak. He had a 36-game streak to end the 05 season and then hit in the first 2 games of the 2006 season. But 0 for 4 ended his hitting streak at 38 games. To this day, it is the 8th longest hitting streak in Major League Baseball history. Everybody knows number 1, that's Joe DiMaggio with 56, and that may never be broken. It's just a very difficult thing to do. The 2006 Phillies struggled to start that season. If you remember, that's when they ended up trading Bobby Abreu, and they were really looking to find the right combination. And he was like, they traded him and Lytle to the Yankees. And then all of a sudden once they traded Bobby Abreu, and I know there's folks out there who are not Bobby Abreu fans that will appreciate this, they went on a 36-23 run to end the season and got themselves back into the wild card chase after they basically were sellers at the trade deadline. They finished second in the wild card, 3 games back. Under today's rules, they would have made the playoffs, but that was the year Ryan Howard was the MVP. And even though they did not make the playoffs and they were sellers at the trade deadline, the seeds were sort of planted now for that 07 team to go on that run. And Jimmy Rollins obviously led off that 07 season with we're the team to beat. Lost and forgotten in this 2006 season because today we're talking about Jimmy Rollins' hitting streak ending at 38 games. Chase Utley during that season had a 35-game hitting streak of his own, which is 11th most all time, which I completely forgot about that until I was doing the research for this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, he went on a hitting streak too. But on this day, back in 2006, the Phillies lost to the Cardinals 4-2. Jimmy Rollins went 0 for 4 at the plate, ending his hitting streak at 38 games, which is the longest in Phillies history, but 8th all-time in Major League Baseball. Sticking with the Phillies theme, today's top 20 memory from the 20th anniversary, or for the 20th anniversary of Citizens Bank Park is basically Cliff Lee was lights out in all of June of 2011, but specifically we're going to go back to June 28th, 2011. Cliff Lee and the Phillies beat the Red Sox 5-0. Shane Victorino and Dominic Brown each had a home run. This was Dom Brown's window when he was good. Cliff Lee gave up 2 hits, 5 Ks, and 2 walks, and it was his 3rd straight complete game shutout. Let that sink in. 3 straight complete game shutouts. And that was only, 12 years ago, 13 years ago? That happened June 28th, 2011, and that is today's top 20 memory from Citizens Bank Park for the 20th anniversary. So this game not only was his 3rd straight complete game shutout, it extended his scoreless inning streaks to 32. It would go, and he would stretch that to 34 before giving up a run. If you're keeping score at home, and you know I love to do this, the Major League Baseball record is 59 straight scoreless innings by Oral Hershiser. I believe that was in 1988. He did that while pitching for the Dodgers. Cliff Lee's numbers for 2011, you can make the argument, may have been his best year of his career. He went 17-8, 2.4 ERA, 6 complete games, all of them shutouts. 6 complete game shutouts in 2011. Pitched a career high 232 and 2/3 innings. Also a career high in strikeouts, 238. And it kind of fell off quick, though, for Cliff Lee. From that high point in 2011, 2012 to just fell off the face of the earth. And he's really fallen off the grid. Cliff Lee, if you're out there listening, send me a DM or something. Make sure you're all right. But you talk about somebody who fell off the grid. But I miss Cliff Lee, and I still think if they would have not traded him and kept him and Holiday in the 2010 season, maybe that plays out a little differently. But today's top 20 memory was back from June of 2011 at Citizens Bank Park. Cliff Lee pitched his 3rd straight complete game shutout. Just a phenomenal, phenomenal season for Cliff that year. All right, and finally today, we're going with an all Phillies theme today. Our Philly team with unfinished business who left a lot of meat on the bone. And it's funny, the meat on the bone, because I was eating wings last night and I was thinking about the podcast. I'm like, can't leave any meat on the bone like this team. But today, it's the 1981 and 1982 Phillies. And frustrating. In 81, they were the defending champs, and that was a strike season. So the Phillies won the first half. They won, I guess the way the Major League Baseball did it was the strike happened, I think, in June. So June or July. So whoever was in first place the first half of the season, they made the playoffs. And then they played the second half of the season. Whoever won the division in the second half of the season, they made the playoffs. They had a divisional round before the NLCS. So the Phillies won the NL East for the first half. The Expos won the second half. And the Expos beat the Phillies 3-2 in the divisional round. But I think the strike really killed the momentum of the Phillies because they were, and really the Cardinals were the one team that got screwed in all of this because they were in second place, only a game or a half game behind the Expos and Phillies in both of them. But I really think it killed any momentum the Phillies had because they were playing hot. I mean, they won. I forget the exact number of games they won for the first half, but it was close, and it just any momentum the Phillies had because they could have gone back to back, but it was not meant to be. They lost to the Expos 3-2 in the divisional series, and then going into 1982, they lost Bob Boone, Larry Boa, along with Ryan Sandberg, who would have been, I think, was Rookie of the Year in 82, and Bake McBride from that championship team. They were older, but they played relatively decent down the stretch. They lost the division to the Cardinals by 3 games. Carlton won a Cy Young in 82. They started off crappy, though. They went 6-13 in April. Meanwhile, the Cardinals went 14-7. And they just never were able to recover. They actually played very well from May on. It's just the Cardinals got out to a hotter start, and the Phillies just could not catch up to them. So between the strike and a poor start in April 1982, this team certainly had unfinished business. And I still say the strike. I mean, it's kind of like one of those what ifs. What if there was no strike? Would the Phillies have been able to keep that momentum up? Because we saw in 81, they were playing well. Strike happened, boom. Got off to a slow start in 82 and really outplayed the Cardinals down the stretch. It's just they got off to such a poor start. They were just not able to overcome it. But today's team with unfinished business, those 1981 and 82 Phillies. But those 2 years were sandwiched in between 2 World Series appearances. They won it in 80. They lost to the Orioles in 1983. But today's Philly team with unfinished business, the 1981 and 1982 Phillies. Today's top 20 memory at Citizens Bank Park for the 20th anniversary, June of 2011. Cliff Lee pitched his third straight complete game shutout and just was lights out. And I miss Cliff. And Cliff, if you're listening, please reach out to me. Love to just chat with you for a little bit and just see how you're doing, where you been. But on this day in 2006, Phillies lost to the Cardinals 4-2. Jimmy Rollins snapping his 38-game hitting streak. We all know how it played out for the Phillies moving forward from there, culminating with Cliff Lee's 2011 season. So lots of Phillies today. Be sure to hit me up on the Back to the Future voice and text line. Let me know your favorite wrestler, WrestleMania moment, and then more importantly, what are your thoughts now that they were officially released and you've seen photos of the players wearing them? What are your thoughts on the City Connect jerseys? To me, it's a big thumbs down, but I do give a thumbs up to the hat. And I'm telling you, it's the silliest thing, but it's the font. It's just the font that I can't get over. But let me know your thoughts. 267-495-8531. It's going to be a little chilly, but it's going to be a beautiful day. If you're going down to WrestleMania, shoot me a DM, hit me up, let me know. I'll go buy you a beer. We'll hang out. Should be a fun time. But let me know, and I'll run into you. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History. I'm Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Saturday. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.